Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to be talking about cut the bleeding in terms of finance and what that means. Then someone says the phrase cut the bleeding. Usually, in the terms of finance, it's a good place to begin and assess your overall finances. All day today and every Sunday, I'm going to be focusing on finance and perhaps reflecting on some of the lessons that I have learned myself, as well as bringing others' attention to finance. If anything, cutting the bleeding, assessing your overall financial performance, and where you can reduce some of your expenditure. It can be potentially a good place to start. This video and a couple other videos, I'll be focusing on that. Cutting the bleeding. Typically, this phrase refers to taking action to stop financial losses or reduce expenses in situations where an individual or business or organization, uh, for profit, not necessarily for profit, or business and organization, is experiencing financial difficulties. Let's take a look at all process and assess how you can assess your personal situation, and from there, for managing your personal finance, where everyone should begin, progress into your professional setting, managing the different budgets for different projects, where to begin, how you can progress. Once you got that one area taken care of, you can potentially progress into other areas as well. Assess financial situation. So where you are currently, you need to assess that. There are many different ways how you can do it. I have tried myself so many different things from my personal experience. The first step is thoroughly assess the financial situation. Identify the source of financial losses or drains on resources. This could include reviewing income, expenses, debt, and investment performances. So you need to assess that. Potentially, you need to take out a statement. You can do that very easily. Most of the banking service providers, or how I would call those, admins, offer those services where you can take out your last 3 months, last 6 months financial statements, and you can review those to assess your overall finance. If anything, you need to assess two things: money coming in and money going out, and where, once you have identified areas where money is coming in and where money is going out, we can delve into a little bit more detail just in a second. But overall, where you can reduce money going out, right? So it's something that we're looking to assess in this particular video, and cutting the bleeding. Having more control. This is what our ultimate objective is. Having more control and cutting the bleeding. And to do that, having more control is to create a budget. I'm sharing that in more detail in a course that I have developed, as well as in my book. One of the ways how you can do it, you can have 70, 10, 10, 10. That would be 100%, 100% of entire budget, and how you can adjust that. Develop a detailed budget that outlines income and expenses. Identify areas where expenses can be reduced or eliminated to improve cash flow. Once you have 70, 10, 10, 10, I would definitely highly recommend to start with that. And from there, once you have that, have tried it. Once you have tried it for a certain period of time, that perhaps will be 6 months, then you can adjust 70, 10, 10, 10, adjust the overall 100% and how you're allocating the budget. That's how it should work. Prioritize expenses. Categorize expenses into essentials and non-essentials categories, uh, and limited those within. It's not covered in this example, but overall 70, 10, 10, 10. It would be where you're allocating it, and if you're allocating, it's within that. It would be 10% non-essential, right? So you would leave yourself, and you would have a system. Ultimately, you would remove all the motions to most extent, all the emotions taken out of the picture, as well as you have allocated capital, so you know your budget and how much you can spend for cinema, I don't know, tickets, popcorns, whatever you might be interested in spending your unnecessary expenses. Negotiate with creditors. If you have outstanding debts, consider negotiating with creditors to lower interest rate, extend repayment terms, or explore debt considerations and options. Basically, yeah, to take out the different loans with the less interest rate, but right now it's the worst time to do that just because of the interest rate. So I'm not necessarily agree with this just because of the currently within current climate, interest rate is very high currently. So they usually just I don't know 12 months, 18 months ago, it was interest rate perhaps was about 4%. Perhaps depending on your credit score, to even lower than that. Right now it's about 7 or 8, depending on your credit score. And some of the cards that you do have, some of those cards are 20%. So it's very high. It's very high interest rates. So if you have those credit cards, try to pay off those cards as fast as you can. If depending on your personal circumstances, pay off those cards, or perhaps try to reduce again cut the bleeding and reduce some of that interest rate by paying off those credit cards, or there's different ways how you can do it. I'm not professional to advise people. I do not know your personal circumstances, but there are different ways how you can do it. Once you uh, have noticed of the money going out, now let's take a look at money going in, into your account, right? And how you can potentially increase your income, becoming better or more effective individual. Perhaps not necessarily. Everyone might start with exchanging their time for money, but time is limited resource, so not necessarily that's optimal way of doing it. Of increasing income, perhaps becoming more productive, learn new skills, perform better, taking on more responsibilities, taking perhaps a little bit more risk. But again, I don't want to recommend anyone or to be held liable for anything what would involve any risk. Perhaps learning new skills, developing yourself, that's something that I can recommend. But there are a lot of options out there. Even investing money, so I don't want to get anyone in trouble, right? 70, 10, 10, 10, and 10% of that is emergency fund. Some people define emergency fund as some of your income that if you would, for whatever reason, would stop receiving money, so the money would stop coming in, you would have a fund for at least 6 months. Some would argue that it's even 6 months not enough. But 70, 10, 10, 10, 10% of that overall 100% of income should be allocated for emergency fund for whatever might be happen. Money would stop coming in, or you need to buy a new car, replace tire, whatever that might be, or perhaps cover all expenses, whatever that might be. View investments. 10% should be allocated in investing into different projects, perhaps. Going forward, everyone should at least think like that as an investor and how they can allocate that money. So money would work, so you won't need to. So just reviewing those investments and how and where to begin, right? A lot of people will make mistakes, hopefully won't make any mistakes of losing money, so that would be the worst thing that people can do. Or there's different ways how to think about it, or if anything, one should perhaps invest in personal development, and from there, and once they have an understanding, they can think about investments. Perhaps that's the lowest risk strategy that I can recommend for all the people out there, than reviewing investments, because person himself need to understand what is a good investment, right? So investing into yourself, that's perhaps the best investment that you can do or have as a starting block. From there, start allocating money into different projects, but what's good and what's bad, you need to understand, right? Seek professional help. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or anything, or You need advisory services, as well as there are a lot of professionals out there who do offer consulting services. Some accountants out there in regards to finances, they do offer, depending on accountant and where you are located. So there are a lot of people who do offer those services, as well as advices, right? But not necessarily they offer good advice, right? So that's another thing. They might bring or improve your understanding, to say the least, right? Or guide you towards better direction, depending on where you are right now. So the course where you're heading right now might not be the best, and if you're looking for help to adjust that course, feel free to reach out to myself, or there are other people out there, as well as perhaps you need legal assistance. There are people who consulting or offering some of the services free of charge, as well as accountant, depending on what you're looking for. Depending if you already have existing business, right? So there's a potentially cutting the bleeding and see review or where you can potentially cut some of the operational expenses, or renegotiating some of the contracts, or optimizing inventory. Perhaps you're sitting on too much inventory. Perhaps 20% of overall net profit it should be reduced to 10%, and perhaps there's the software solutions to do that. So there's a lot of different options out there how you can reduce some of the inventory, depending. So uh, and overall evaluation of efficiency, and there are a lot of people out there who do offer those services. Some of the process out there and how you can reduce that. There are a lot of new projects currently in the market, so who and how you can source finance for those projects as well. Overall, all this process that I just covered, that should be continuous loop, right? So you constantly need to repeat this process. At least, I don't know, depends if you're currently on top of your game, on top of your game, right? So you're managing one budget, your IG, your personal budget. If you're managing different 5, 6 different budgets, perhaps you need to have this continuous loop of constantly reviewing process, right? If not, outsource that to a person that you can trust, accountant, and oversee this person how he can manage the number of different budgets right up there. But it should be continuous loop. Continuously monitor your financial situation and make adjustments as necessary. Regularly review your financial health and prevent future financial crises. And if something happens, adjust the system, right? So whatever system you might be interested in having in place, if anything, start with your personal budget and how you review that budget. That'll be every 6 months, every 12 months, review that, your personal, and progress into a more professional setting and reviewing those budgets for organizations or projects that you're going to be managing, if not now, in the future. I have published a book. The name of the book is Project Fifth Law. In this book, I'm sharing a lot of information for people out there who are interested in learning more about their own body, and I'm focusing a lot on your body, working out routines, eating patterns, what you should eat, how many calories you should eat, what is the calorie, where the calories should come from, as well as resting and working out training routines, how to structure those, how you can improve your overall performance in the gym, or we all stuck in this shell called body with hardware that you're carrying with you everywhere. So understanding your body, your overall performance is very important. And where to begin, I'm structuring everything to make it very simple and easy to understand for people out there who do not know that much about working out, as well as seasonal professionals. So you can find everything in this book in the description below, as well as Top Retailers has it. The specific actions you can take will depend on your unique financial circumstances. The goal is to stop the financial losses. If you have those, if very least, perhaps bring your attention that there is a potential savings that you can make, and it's something that this process should be constant, where you should review your overall budget and how you're allocating your money. Thanks for watching. See you next one.